Happy Mother's Day. As I was preparing for today, I was reflecting on motherhood, and I jokingly asked my 5-year-old daughter, Claire, to write my reflection for me, with no expectation that she actually would. A few moments later, she presents me with a paper with her thoughts on motherhood. Love, joy, holiness, the Holy Mass, being the best you can be, loving the Lord, loving your kids, saying yes, loving you. I want to focus today on these ideas of motherhood and share that not all women may be mothers through birth, but all women are called to spiritual motherhood, to nurture those in front of you, to help others become the best version of themselves, to intercede on behalf of others, and to bring others closer to Jesus Christ. In our gospel today, we hear Jesus command us to love one another as I have loved you. This is a love that we know is sacrificial, a love that wills the good of the beloved, a love willing to give up everything, even life itself, for the good of the ones we love. It reminds me of some exemplary women who've modeled this sacrificial love in beautiful ways throughout history. I think of first the Blessed Mother, who dedicated her life to God and held nothing back, not even her reputation. I think of Saint Gianna Molla, who had complications during pregnancy and told her family to choose the child's life over her own, and she died during childbirth. I think of Saint Monica, who interceded on behalf of her son Augustine, who returned to the church after a long absence, thanks to the powerful prayers of his mother. We now know him as Saint Augustine, and he is a saint and doctor of the church. I think of Mother Teresa, who, while she didn't have any biological children of her own, cared for thousands of those whose own mothers had forsaken and abandoned them. I think finally of Hannah in the Old Testament, who struggled with infertility and prayed hopefully and faithfully for her whole life to have a child. God blessed her with a baby boy named Samuel, and she dedicated Samuel to God. We see all of this and more in modern-day mothers, in the sacrifice of pouring out love even when we're tired, in the young mom who chose life even when she was scared, in the moms who are homeschooling and Zooming and driving their children to school, making meals, in learning when to speak and when to listen, and yes, even picking up the dreaded Legos that you just stepped on for the 10th time today. We see this in grandmothers and godmothers who pray and remember the important details of those they love, who intercede on behalf of children who may have left the church. We see in women who are teachers, doctors, nurses, administrators, lawyers, and in the way they stand for the most vulnerable among us. Are not all women called to this? As we heard last week, God tells us, I am the vine, you are the branches. We know that in order to become the best version of ourselves, we have to stay connected to this vine. In order to be patient in moments when it's running thin, we have to stay connected to the vine. In order to remain hopeful when we're feeling despair, we have to stay connected to the vine. In order to have the courage to do the right thing, even when we're afraid, we have to stay connected to the vine. Motherhood is sanctifying. It is sacred. It will bring to light areas the Lord is not finished with you yet, areas of selfishness, areas where we can improve. It shows you that maybe you really can function on less sleep, or at least it has for me. But if we bring God into our vocation, into our day, into this calling, it can bring out our best selves. It can show you areas you flourish and become your truest self. It is this calling that leads us to Christ. John Paul II, while coining the term the feminine genius, in his letter to women continues to say, "For in giving themselves to others each day, women fulfill their deepest vocation. Perhaps more than men, women acknowledge the person because they see persons with their hearts. They see them independently of various ideological or political systems. They see others in their greatness and limitations. Then they try to go out to them and to help them." We have to live a sacramental life in order to become saints, in order to live out this vocation as women. So my daughter was, in fact, right. Motherhood is love. It is joy. It is holiness. It is the Holy Mass. It is being the best you can be. It is loving the Lord. It is loving your kids. It is saying yes. It's saying yes, but not to everything, or every task, or every person, but to what God is calling us to do, and to love those he puts in our path. So on this Mother's Day, let us thank God for our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, our godmothers, those who have been spiritual mothers to us, and ask his blessing that we may become the best version of ourselves.